Okay, this is a demonstration for complementary angles, and later on we're going to take a look at supplementary angles as well. So if you take a look at the diagram here, if we look at angle ABC, this is a right angle, and we can verify that by the right angle box right here. And if we look at this angle ABD, this angle measures 41.68 degrees, and we take a look at this angle DBC. This angle is 48.32 degrees. And if they are complementary angles, then when you add them together, they add to equal 90 degrees. So let's take a look at that. Here is ABD and here is DBC. If I move this point around a little bit, the angle measures change, but they still add to 90 degrees. In this case, our two complementary angles, and we'll call them angle 1 and angle 2, are adjacent. Remember, adjacent means shared vertex and shared side. And when we add them together, they add to equal 90. So in this case, they're adjacent and they're complements. But complements don't need to be adjacent. Let's go ahead and separate that out a little bit. All that has to happen with complements is that they add to equal 90. So I move those angles. The angle measure for the individual angle changes, but the sum is still 90. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at supplementary angles. Supplementary angles add to 180 degrees, and if they are adjacent, then they make a linear pair. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of angles here. If we take a look at angle ABD, 103.84 degrees. Angle DBC, 76.16 degrees. And adjacent angles, shared vertex, shared side, and form a straight angle, has to add up to 180. Adjacent angles means linear pair. Supplementary angles, two angles that add to 180 degrees. Let's go ahead and change the size of those angles, and they still add to 180. Okay, so if our two angles are adjacent and add up to 180, then they're supplements, and since they're adjacent, they'd also be a linear pair. So let's take a look here. Angle 1 is 122.43, angle 2 57.57, and when we add them together, 180 degrees. Go ahead and change that, and we see that the angle measures change, but their sum is still 180. Supplements, adjacent linear pair, but supplements don't have to be adjacent. So let's separate that out a little bit. Two angles that add to 180, they're supplements, but they are no longer a linear pair. They're not adjacent anymore. No shared vertex, no shared side, but still supplements, add to 180.